Yamiche, I saw you tweeting about this today, some of the things that the president was saying. Some people do agree with him. There's no question. He doesn't seem to be trying to expand his reach to others. Polling consistently shows that Americans think, particularly on the issue of African Americans, their treatment at the hands of police, inequality, that most Americans think there's something to be fixed here.
That's right. I mean, we know just through statistics that African Americans, they're only 13% of the population, and African Americans are more than 2.5 times more likely to be killed by the police by white people. That's at the heart of what Black Lives Matter is about. They're about stopping police brutality and about stopping the unjust treatment of African Americans in this country. This, of course, is par for the course of President Trump. This is what he does. He's really been against Black Lives Matter for a long time. I should just fact check really quickly, which is the organization and the movement did not start with that chant denigrating police officers. They started with the idea that Trayvon Martin was a young man who shouldn't have been killed, and they went on to talk about the fact that there should be really reforms in policing. But the president continues to say that these are anarchists. I know, as someone who's reported on Black Lives Matter, that these are people who want America to be better and want America to live up to the ideals of treating every man and woman equally and quickly. He talked about President Obama. It was a very political speech by President Obama, but he was calling for some of the same things that John Lewis wanted, which was a reuniting and really putting teeth back into the Voting Rights Act. So that was President Obama saying, this is what John Lewis' life work was about, and we should continue to do that work.
Renee Graham, this Black Lives Matter issue is interesting because people who wear the shirt or have the sign don't, in many cases, know that they have anything to do with an organization or founding principles. This idea of they're Marxists and they're anarchists. Most people hear the three words Black Lives Matter and they say, that's true. I can support that. It's not a political thing to support it whatsoever.
I don't think Donald Trump knows what Marxism is. I think it's just a word someone said to him and he threw it out there. The thing to remember is that racism is Trump's comfort food. He's doling it out in heaping portions to his base because he believes that's what binds them to him. So what he's doing right now, as his campaign is failing, so he doesn't have to talk about the 157,000 people dead from coronavirus and COVID, is he's playing a medley of his greatest hits. He's lambasting athletes because of kneeling. He's talking about the Black Lives Matter banners. But this is all Donald Trump. This is his idea of a winning strategy, which is to scare white people silly by painting protesters as violent anarchists, because he has nothing else to hang this campaign on.
Yamiche, at some juncture, you'll go down in history as one of the people who attempts to hold the president to account on these things he says. You do it very artfully. You simply state the facts. You know the facts, and you state them back to him. It doesn't move him. It doesn't change his view. He's not challenged by the idea that something he said, as we saw with Jonathan Swan a couple of nights ago, it doesn't move him that somebody presents him with the facts.
That's right. The president, since the beginning of his presidency, has trafficked in misleading statements, from the virus to Black Lives Matter to all sorts of other things. And what the president's doing is really doubling down on a strategy that worked for him in 2016 and that he's hoping works for him in 2020. I will say what's interesting about this Fox and Friends interview is that the president is saying the hill that he dies on might be the fact that he has a different stance on racial inequality in this country, and that he doesn't believe that we should be focused on systemic racism, and that he wants to continue to talk about policing as if there aren't things that need to be fixed. So I think the president is acknowledging, hey, I might lose in 2020. And maybe that's because he's seeing polling in swing states, as I'm seeing as a reporter, that shows that he really has some work to do. Not to saying that he can't win, but it's saying that he is not in a strong position. So that being said, I think this is the president starting to maybe also acknowledge that he might lose.